Moonstompers everywhere, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mrs Moonstomper.
And I'm Mr Moonstomper. Guys, it's great to have you on board. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it doing
We do, oh gosh, yes, without a doubt.
Absolutely. And thank you for your support as well. Your support's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So, you've all seen the thumbnail, you all know what it is, and we said what it was last time. New Wave.
New Wave.
Mrs Moonstomper,
Yes.
right, I'm going to make a confession shortly.
Oh.
Do you actually know what New Wave is?
I think it's like
post-punk.
post. I was just going to say that. Yes, post punk.
Well, I got the post-punk bit, so I got the memo about that. But I'll be brutally honest with you. For years and years and years, I didn't actually know what New Wave was.
The same here. I was to find out.
I hadn't got a clue. In fact, you know, I just thought, well, it's just anything. Everything. Literally, I thought that.
Yes, yes.
So I kind of had to look this up. Not recently, but you know, in the last few years,
Yes.
I only sort of got to know what that really was. Because I'll be honest with you, it's although it's of my era, and I don't think it's a genre as such.
Okay.
Because it's just that broad.
It's like after bands like the Sex Pistols, Jump 69,
Correct. Absolutely.
Like
But
77 on 78.
it actually stretches back before then.
Oh,
So
gosh, yes.
back to the good old USA again. So hello to our USA cousins. Thank you for viewing. And back to CBGBs.
Oh yes.
So their new wave was groups like Blondie,
Yes.
Talking Heads, and those guys played at CBGBs.
That's it.
And the reason that's new wave is because the first lot of their punk kind of they'd played there already, but then the newer guys coming through, such as your Blondies and Talking Heads,
Oh yes.
they were there then, so 74,
were.
75, round
Way,
about there.
way back,
They're all
yes.
thereabouts. So those guys are ahead of us.
They are. They were.
And there's plenty of bands of that ilk from America,
Of course.
is there not?
There is, yes.
Such as,
The Patti Smith group as well.
there you go.
Is Ramones, would they be in that?
Well, not new wave because
Oh, no.
they
Okay,
were you know they were punk and they were punk through and through.
Oh yeah, my mistake,
And
sorry.
it's that's just the way it went. But they did carry on
Yes.
through the new wave, the later new wave that was in England from I would say 78 onwards.
Oh yes.
So it's quite a fascinating subject, and there are how many bands would fit within that.
It'd be like including like the Go-Go's, B-52s.
But there's hundreds.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
just-
There's hundreds and hundreds
Yes,
and
to
hundreds,
name,
and
yes.
it's just you know we couldn't possibly name all of those
Let's
bands.
just be here all year.
So I think what we should do is we'll do this a little bit differently. And we're
Okay.
kind of going to freestyle this because
Yes.
you know some of these we actually look up and we don't really rehearse, but we've kind of got like a plan.
Yeah, it's just like doing your homework, really.
Yeah, it is. We've kind of got a plan
research.
on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
Of course, yeah.
But this, because it's like, where do you even start? It's that big. So, as we say, we started in sort of like the early 70s in America.
That's it.
But now we're going to flick back across the pond and look at some of the Brit bands.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
So, who would you say are the most influential new wave bands of the 70s?
I think Ian Dury and the Blockheads, maybe.
Now that's very left field for me, but
Okay.
I like it during the Blockheads.
Yes.
What can you even say about that bloke? In fact, do you remember we watched a film about him?
Yes, his life story.
And that was, I can't even remember what it's called now.
Oh, I think it's. We have to look it up.
Yeah, in fact we'll put it on the screen. That was brilliant. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because that literally flipped it for me with Ian Dury.
Yes.
You know, I always kind of, you know, I just kind of dismissed it.
Okay.
I just did. That's another one I didn't get the memo on either.
All right. He's a fascinating person, though. Really.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very much so. But I'd say one of mine would be the Police.
Oh yes, yes.
Just for sheer quality,
Gosh.
and you know for sheer reach as well.
That's it.
Reach on both sides of the pond
Oh.
in the US and the UK.
Well, after all, it's not Stuart Copeland. He's from Canada. He's Canadian. So he's sort of from across the pond, so to speak, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And Stuart Copeland.
Yes.
Did you know
The drummer.
he actually did the theme tune for the Equalizer?
Oh yes.
And when I say the Equalizer, not the Equalizer you guys know and love, but the Equalizer from the 80s with
Edward. Yes.
Yeah. So and that was
From the
a
80s.
series, wasn't it?
Yes,
and he
it
actually
was.
did that. So
Okay.
there's some clever guys there who were
Yes.
really diverse, and other
Talented.
diverse people such as Elvis Costello.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, what can you say about Elvis Costello?
The Attractions joined him later, did they?
They did. So his first LP was just Elvis Costello, and I think
Okay.
that was around about 77.
So.
But that got critical acclaim.
Okay.
But only later. But he didn't release a single from that.
Oh, I see.
It was only when it was Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Oliver's Army being his biggest hits.
Yes.
Then you had Pump It Up and Watching the Detectives and things like that.
That's
But
it.
that was with the Attractions.
Oh, yes.
But you could kind of hear that new wave, so that new wave was kicking in.
Yes.
And it was very underground. It was punk, but it was very angular. And it wasn't so overdriven. It wasn't so protesty,
No, it won't.
dare I say. It was, like I say, very angular, very almost stylistic in the way that the band members dressed. But
They wear suits, didn't they? They wore suits and ties.
they did,
Yes.
they did, but there's nothing unusual in that, because
No.
if you flip back to people like Roxy Music,
Oh, good, yes.
Brian Ferry was wearing suits for ages and ages, and then some really kooky stuff.
Before that, he used to dress in like the sort of space age, sort of glitzy, like the foil looking
During the sort of
suits
glam
with a big
rock,
collar. Yes.
the glam rock period. But when he came out of that, another one who was influential
Oh, yes.
in New Wave,
Uh-huh.
and then one of the biggest influences of all was none other than Velvet Underground.
Oh, Lou Reed.
With Lou Reed, and then going on to things like Talking Heads
Oh, yes.
from the American side again, so we keep on switching across. And
Well, David Byrne, the singer, he's actually Scottish. The rest of them are American. He was born in Scotland.
right, okay, so that
Yes.
told me, because I didn't actually know that.
Yes.
And while I wouldn't say I'm a Talking Heads fan, I do like Talking Heads.
They're good. They're a good band, aren't they?
They're absolutely, but you can see when Talking Heads, you can see where Talking Heads got their inspiration from,
Oh.
and then you can see where bands such as R.E.M., B-52s
Oh yeah, R.E.M. Gosh.
got their
Yes.
inspiration from. That very pancake, flat, almost
The way you're
monotonous
singing, yes.
vocals.
Oh.
Which is kind of crazy, but it just it fits that
It
music.
just goes, doesn't it?
It really, really fits that music.
Yes.
Often those bands would like employ synthesizers as well, and that became a big, big thing as well.
Yes. Well, speaking of R.E.M. and B-52s, like later on in the 80s, or I think it was early 90s, when they sang "Shiny Happy People," the girl out of B-52s, she sang like the melodic bit when he sang "Shiny Happy People," and she went to sing "Shiny Happy People." You know?
Oh, really?
Yes, that's her. Over the red hair. I think her name's Katie something. I can't remember
Yeah,
her
we'll
name.
put it on the screen, guys.
Yeah, she sang along with.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, it is her. Yes.
But that's, I mean, that's, well, there you go. Okay, every day is a school. That's two things I've learned today already.
Yeah.
So, and then going back again, so including that new wave and post-punk were the punk bands that survived punk, almost, as if that's a thing, such as the Stranglers,
Oh God, yeah, don't forget the Stranglers.
Clash,
Yes.
guys like that
Yes.
who carried on, and but they almost toned themselves down, didn't they? Became
Yes.
more melodic and showed more of their prowess as well.
Especially when the Stranglers sang Golden Brown, and that sort of made a big switch, didn't they, from the usual to singing Golden Brown in the mid-80s.
They did, but if you listen to some of their music, I mean, especially some of their later music, like Skin Deep and stuff like that, that's completely different.
It is, isn't it? From Peaches and Goldbody and the rest of them.
Yeah, the original stuff, it's completely different, but they're still a great band.
They are.
But also, so going back to instrumental people as well, people who really pushed that that genre. Bands who were groundbreaking bands such as XTC.
Oh yes, yes.
Now XTC were probably one of the first sort of new wave bands to come along, with Andy Partridge as the singer, and they were actually labelled as new wave. Andy Partridge hated that label so much so that he said, "Look, guys, you know, this is not new wave. That doesn't exist. We're just a pop band. We're a brand new pop music band." And he actually made a single which was called "This Is Pop Music."
Okay.
Just to prove a point.
Some people don't like labels put on them though, don't they? And who's to blame them, really?
Well, it is what it is. But you know, it's in life, everyone's got a slot somewhere, haven't they? Or so we think, you know. And it's just about that conforming. But he didn't want to conform, and I don't blame that guy in the slightest.
Okay.
Don't blame him in the slightest at all. But again, really, really good band, and other bands that came along as well, such as the Vapors.
Oh yes, Turning Japanese.
Turning Japanese. What was the weird fact about that? Turning Japanese, wasn't it?
Was it Bruce Foxton out of the drum? Did he write or produce?
No, I think he found.
Oh, he founded them.
I think so.
Something like, I know Bruce Foxton's got something to do with them.
Exactly, but the guy actually looks like Bruce Foxton.
It's sort of the same hair and. They look similar, don't they?
They do.
They could be related, who knows?
They probably are. It probably was Bruce Foxton, truth be known. But crazy, absolutely crazy. And bands like the Jam as well.
Oh,
you know, although they were very mod, but it was that sound. It's that stripped down sound, but like I say, very angular.
Yes.
Although the Jam didn't really employ synths.
No.
But it's bands that actually did that and sort of softened it a bit.
Yes.
Such as, Gary Newman.
Oh yes, Tubeway Army. That's where he started, didn't he?
He did indeed.
1979.
Now, Gary Newman is a rocker through and through. And he found synths kind of by mistake when he was in the studio and they were looking to record something. He just found these synths, had a go, and he thought, I can get something out of these.
Yes.
And that's kind of how it was born. A very futuristic sort of
sound.
Very pasty-faced looking sort of, sort of androgynistic sort of, kind of image.
That's
but
it.
when we saw that in the United Kingdom, we'd never seen the like of that before.
No, never before. Have we ever?
But I've got to say, the guys in Germany had.
Oh.
Obviously with Kraftwerk.
Oh yes.
You know, who were way ahead of the game, and those guys were knocking around with synths for forever and ever and ever. And even before that, guys like Tangerine Dream as well. But that's not new wave, is it?
No, but they both sound both seem futuristic though, don't they?
Oh, very much so.
Kraftwerk and Tangerine Dream, especially Tangerine Dream, for like debuting in the late 60s, early 70s?
The late 60s, the very, very late 60s, where, it was, well, what do you even say about those guys? They're just prolific. I don't know how many LPs they've done, over 100 LPs and counting, and then live LPs, and they've just been on all sorts of, film soundtracks, computer game soundtracks, everything. They've just been there. But this is not about Tangerine Dream. That's for another story, another day.
Yes.
So it's just back to new wave.
Yes.
So with British new wave, there were people such as Trevor Horn.
Oh, from the Buggles.
Buggles. So he had what was his hit? Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't that the first song to be played on MTV?
In the UK, I think it was.
I think it was the USA.
Oh, I thought Money for Nothing by Dire Straits was the US, but I don't know, I could be wrong.
I remember having MTV and seeing MTV.
Yes.
And I just remember, I'm sure I remember, I'm probably wrong, so I don't know. We'll have to Google that.
We'll have to check it out.
That one. One was one was the other one.
Yes.
But both.
I'm confused. I think I'm not 100%, but I think one could be the other, or the other could be the one who.
Well, it's got to be one or the other, isn't it? You know, it can't be. You know,
Yes.
unless we're both probably wrong.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll Google it and we'll put it on the screen.
Yes.
We'll see who's right, which will be me, obviously. Maybe not. So,
Yes.
Adam and the Ants.
Oh, what can you say about them? Ooh.
Adam and the Ants. That was so. This is the rub now. This is the bit that rubs me up with New Wave. Was when they started to put pop music, what I call pop music.
Oh yes.
For well, it's just pop music. It's Adam and the Ants, Duran Duran, Spandau
yes.
Ballet. They're just
Sort of like new romantic sort of thing, isn't it?
very much so.
But Adam and the Ants was like they were like
Swashbuckling dandy pirate,
like the
highwayman.
highwayman sort of type image that they portrayed.
Yeah, but you know that was
Yes.
Malcolm McLaren's baby, don't you?
Okay.
There you go, another one that Malcolm McLaren had his finger in, all up, all around. Then again, the master, Malcolm McLaren, the absolute master of promoting bands, and you know that was Adam and the Ants just became an absolute rip-roaring success.
Indeed.
But I didn't particularly like that, to be honest.
No. But their first song, Kings of the Wild Frontier, it was very drummy, like it's sort of.
That's because it was two drum kits.
Yes, but they used that a lot, didn't they?
They did. That was the whole ethos of that band, was two drum kits.
Yes. Especially the Adam with the stripe across his nose. And you get young kids, you see them everywhere. These young girls in the frilly blouses and the plaited, like the hair with a long plait on the side, with the.
The stripe across there.
I think they use Tipp-Ex.
Or the Tipp-Ex are a plaster out of Mum's first aid box. Look at that.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
okay. So enough of that. Enough of that rubbish.
There's another band, Tempole Tudor, who's sort of were like swashbuckling, sort of.
I don't know. They look like medieval, sort of like we're going to attack your castle with boiling
Yes.
oil type things. You know,
Especially when they
sort
sang Swords of 1,000 Men.
very Highlander, wasn't it? That you know,
Yes,
like get your broadsword out and
Gosh.
let's do battle. You know, just
That's
very.
it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I don't know what all that was about.
I
you
know. There was alright. Not my favourite, but it was just alright.
Oh no, I didn't. You know, not for me. Not at all.
Not for you.
No.
Not for you.
I was more the XTC route. That Elvis Costello.
Oh yes,
that type
yes.
of thing. The Boomtown Rats as well.
Yes. From Ireland, yes.
And you two from Ireland.
Oh gosh, yeah, don't
There you
forget.
go. So yeah, and then from Scotland.
Crossing over the Giant's Causeway to Scotland, Simple Minds.
There you go.
Simple Minds.
And the Skids.
The
then
Skids.
into Big Country.
Yes, well. And that guitar sound, what guitar did because Stuart Adamson from the Skids, all excepting Richard Jobson, moved over to Big Country.
They did, well, Stuart Adamson reigned the he took the vocals, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Fine voice as well.
He did, a very
Must
good
say,
voice.
Really, really good band.
Gosh.
And I think he got that. In fact, the reason I like those is because they had the same guitar as me.
Okay.
He played a Yamaha SG,
Oh,
which was an absolutely mighty fine guitar, and that was the one to Gibson Beta. That was.
wow. Could you make yours sound like bagpipes though? Because they did somehow.
Well, I didn't try because I wasn't Scottish, so why would I? To be honest with you.
It's amazing how they made that sound though.
I've sounded
guitar.
like bagpipes in the morning, but that's a different story altogether, and that's not even my guitar, I can assure you.
Mr Moonstomper.
Sorry.
Really?
I just thought I'd mention that. Rewinding back again.
Yes.
So Trevor Horn. Now Trevor Horn was right. So Video Killed the Radio star.
Yes.
That man, right? Because everybody just thinks, oh, he's in Bubbles, was the guy with the big glasses and Bubbles.
okay, yeah.
And was it Plastic Age or something?
Yeah, that was his
or-
second song.
Which was a bit. I've
Living
got
in the
to
Plastic Age.
I've got to admit, it was a bit.
It wasn't as good as Video Killed the Radio star.
No, it wasn't. But they dubbed him the man who invented the 1980s.
Okay.
because he was, you know, he was beyond Frankie Goes to Hollywood,
Yes.
amongst others as well. But he was in terms of production, his production work is absolutely superb.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't believe.
He produced for so many artists as well, didn't he?
Did indeed, he absolutely did.
Wow.
Right, what say, in true Moonstomper fashion, we'll take a bit of a break.
Take a break, yeah.
You can watch a VT, because why wouldn't we make a VT?
I
Because we
know.
like doing that.
That's what we do.
And so, should we go and have a
tea?
we? Back in three.
So now I'm alone. Now I can think for myself about little deals and issues, things that I just don't understand. I can white light at night, or a slow touch at times. I don't think I mean anything to you. So I
Hey, welcome back everybody. I do sure hope you enjoyed that VT.
I didn't, we haven't even watched it yet because we haven't actually made it, but we'll make that, and I'll just say, yes, we did enjoy that.
Oh yeah.
As we do.
As
Yeah, so where were we, Mrs Moonstomper? Obviously at New Wave and Post-Punk.
Oh yes, yes.
So, we kind of missed a few bands out, a few British bands, didn't we?
Yes.
Such as Squeeze.
Squeeze, yes. The first song, Take Me On Yours.
Now that's a good song, but I don't, as a rule, I don't like Squeeze.
Okay.
And I don't particularly like Jules Holland. That's a different thing altogether. In fact, me and Jules Holland do not get on.
Oh, you met him once, didn't you?
That right, so we won't even go there on that, except we do not get on.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying on that subject. And if he watches this, he'll know why.
Okay. I bet many people didn't know Jules Holland was in Squeeze.
I don't know.
He played the piano.
I don't know. I would have thought they did.
Okay.
But what I will say is, when he sort of came away from that, he did one of the greatest music shows ever, which was The Tube.
The Tube, yes.
And
With Paula Yates.
yeah, that was absolutely amazing because that actually featured New Wave.
Yeah, so he's still watching The Tube.
Yeah, New Wave and Indie.
That's it,
And that
yes.
was an amazing show, full of rarities. They just got bands on people had never heard of.
Yes.
So to me, that was a modern day Whistle Test.
Oh, yeah.
It was Channel 4's version of Whistle Test, wasn't
That's
it? I think. But was it Channel 4? Was it The Tube?
Channel 4, yes.
It was indeed. So that was
of an evening time.
it was 84, 85.
Something like that, yes.
80, that's when it came on.
Yes.
Yeah, but absolutely amazing. I used to love that, so I really did.
Yes.
And then the Cars as well.
Oh,
from
yes.
Across the pond.
That's it. It sang My Best Friend's Girl.
They did indeed. They did indeed.
And other songs, There When I Need You. I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my
But
time.
again, do you see the similarity with that voice again?
Yeah, Talking Heads.
Yeah, it's
Is
that.
what I was
It's,
gonna say,
yeah, but that goes back to Velvet Underground.
Oh gosh, yes.
It's just that. It's that very. It's almost. I'm going to talk and I sing, but somehow that fits the vibe.
It does.
And somehow it works,
Yes,
and
yes.
I don't understand that.
Gosh.
But somehow he's in tune as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, absolutely strange. But then other bands such as US bands The Knack.
Oh yes, My Sharona.
There's a weird fact about that song.
Oh,
So
what's this?
it was Run DMC who sampled that.
Oh, that bit. Da, 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 da. That bit. Oh, from the song It's Tricky, yes.
They did indeed.
Oh yeah.
And it was, if I remember rightly, they were recording on, or they did record on, I'm going to say it was Def Jam Records.
Oh yes.
Now, Def Jam originally was Rick Rubin's label, if I remember rightly, and I think it was a heavy metal label, if I remember rightly. But Rick Rubin had just got this thing in his head about heavy metal and rap, hip hop,
Alright.
and smashing those things together.
Wow.
And it's when you sort of listen to the sort of some of his work, it's absolutely amazing. Not that it was new wave, and I kind of digressed there completely, but I just thought that was worth a mention.
Oh yeah. Can I ask? Was it Rick Rubin who invented rap metal? Was it him? Would you say or?
I don't know. In all honesty,
Well be,
I would say it could well be. It became a thing in the sort of. I mean, when you had Run DMC, they did that collab with Aerosmith.
That's it.
And there's examples that go way back.
Okay.
There was a group called Anthrax, which were they were like really, really heavy. They did a thing called I'm the Man.
Okay.
And that was rap as well. So when rap came out, everyone could rap. And then Faith No More, they did things as well. So it just became a thing. It was very American to do that.
That's it. Plus Blondie as well. They sang that Rapture song. She does that rap as well. That rapping.
Holy moly!
Yes.
I forgot about. And how old is that song?
Gosh. Old. I
then-
think it was like early 80s.
It was like very late 70s, very early 80s, way after the Sugar Hill Gang and people like that.
Oh,
who
yes,
sort
yes.
of did the first sort of.
That's it.
But again, talking instead of singing, which is kind of, they kind of, does it suck? I don't know,
Horses for Courses. Another band that's sort of one of the songs that Devo sang, the American band, is that Whip It song, Whip It into Shape.
And that again, that to me could be Talking Heads, could be B-52, could be R.E.M., could be Velvet Underground, could be any of those that talk when they sing, which is kind of strange because they all had that. It was just.
I think it was a thing for that era, sort of in America somehow.
It was, but then you've got the flip of it, like Hall and Oates and people like that who didn't actually do that, did they?
No, they didn't.
But that wasn't really new, right? Was this?
I don't
It was just
think so.
no, it was just pop music.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. And then you've got the Manchester boys and girls who did actually do that.
Okay.
So all those who sprung up.
Like Joy Division, you mentioned.
Joy Division, very much so. And then New Order.
Oh yes.
Straight after which was From the Ashes of Joy Division, is it not?
Yes.
Very much again Indian sort of Manchester and independence.
Oh gosh,
it's
yes.
just that became a thing.
Yes. And The Cure, was a Cure from Manchester?
Yeah, and well, the thing is with the Cure, the Cure were, they took goth to the mainstream. Now Susie and the Banshees did, but the Cure just took it one step further, and they really took it out to the mainstream. But they were part of the new wave.
I was going to just ask you that.
Post-punk and new wave.
Yeah. So they turned sort of gothy with the big back-combed hair, like Susie and the Banshees.
They did.
Because he was in Susie and the Banshees, wasn't he? Robert Smith, the singer.
Yeah, he was. He
From
was
the
as a
Cure.
guitarist, because he's a guitarist as well, don't forget.
Yes.
As well as singer, but he just did that, and it's just like, yeah. But there were plenty of groups who sort of had that style.
That's it.
And then sort of going back again, Toyah.
Oh, Toyah Wilcox.
Toyah Wilcox are some of the females. So who else can you think of?
Toyah Wilcox and Hazel O'Connor.
Wow. Okay, that's really sort of digging up the archives. Hazel O'Connor to me was absolutely. She was potty as they come.
She sang the 8th Day song. I think that was her debut.
She did, but she had eyes that she looked like
The big staring eyes.
She had those eyes that were that big. She had too many teeth, and I just,
that sound, that the 8th Day song. It sounds very sort of space age, doesn't it? I think. With the synth of the sound of the synth.
Yeah, it does. But synths became a thing. But the thing is with synths of the 70s, right? Those were analog synths. And when I say analog, so I've had how many synths have I had?
Too many.
Way too many.
Lots.
Loads and loads and loads and
Yes.
loads. And the thing is with synths is those big old things that weigh like 100 kg, some of those things, and they're full of valves, and you've got to tune them.
Yeah.
You've got to tune them. So a lot of people go, "Oh, it's easy." Damn, you need a science degree to tune some of those because they're in different waveforms.
Okay.
And just to get that noise, it's not as easy as people think.
No.
And when people go, they're all new, they're modern. No, the BBC were using those in the 60s on programmes like Doctor Who. In fact, the BBC really, really, really helped develop those, didn't they? Amongst like. What's his name? Moog, who owned, I can't remember his first name, Moog, some people call him. Dr. Robert Moog or something like that. I don't know if put his name on the screen. But it was just about getting sound effects.
Yes.
So, and they were just wave signals, that's all they were.
Okay.
And the idea was to layer those sounds, and that's what Tangerine Dream mastered.
Okay.
And Jean-Michel Jarre mastered that as well. In fact, Jean-Michel Jarre actually mastered it from his kitchen.
Gosh.
When he did his first LP. A lot of that was just done in his kitchen, then he was like, he was tidied up in his studio, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Strange. But synthesis became a form of expression.
Yes.
Where, like we say, Gary Newman had taken synthesizers because he saw those in his studio, he was fascinated.
Yes.
And he didn't know how to tune them.
Okay.
So when you listen to like Our Friends Electric, it's if you want to reproduce that, I've actually done a version of that, and it's it's slightly out of tune.
Okay.
It's only slightly, it's minutely out of tune. It's negligible, but you can hear it.
So a trained ear, somebody like me wouldn't
You can
notice.
you can
somebody like
you can hear it, and it's just kind of difficult to replicate to get it perfect. You can get it as near as damn it, but to get it perfect, and if you're gonna replicate it, you need to do it perfectly.
Yes.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Gosh.
So, in fact, better still just go and listen to it rather than replicate it. I don't know if I'll waste my time doing that, but hey ho. But he was the first one to sort of really stick those things on top of the pops, and everybody was like, whoa, you've got synthesizers. You know, other bands did it before, but as a lead instrument, as that was the main focal point of the band, and other bands followed suit.
Did Kraftwerk have a go as well with the synthesizers?
Kraftwerk was all synthesizers.
It
was 4 of them on synthesizers, which is just, you know, but Kraftwerk had been doing it for ages. They were in Germany and mainland Europe, and it was only when they came to Europe with the model and Autobahn and things like that everyone went.
Tour de France.
Yeah, everybody went, what is that? That is just absolutely whack. It's absolutely kooky.
Gosh.
But it's a work of art. Those are actually instruments. Those are actually instruments that somebody's got to play and somebody's got to program those things. So it's harder. It's sometimes it's you know, like, as a guitar player, I found it easy because all I got to do is just tune the thing. It's 6 strings, just tune it and intonate it properly. But then when you get a synth and you've got to tune that, man, that's hard. But it changed.
Okay.
It changed massively in the early 80s, and synths became smaller because they became transistorized.
Oh yes.
And then the sounds changed as well, where in the early 80s, Yamaha with the DX7, that's the synthesizer that changed everything.
Is that when Depeche Mode came on the scene?
They were on the scene before.
Okay.
But Yamaha DX7, that was the synthesizer you probably hear on every 80s great hits. All the big hair, you know, the big hair songs that, you know, the big, it's just everyone who's anyone who's used a DX7.
OMD maybe?
Later on.
Okay.
OMD's first synth, so what's his name? Andy McCluskey,
Andy McCluskey, well, the singer with the curly hair.
With the curly hair.
And Paul Humphreys, the blonde one.
Yeah, but Andy McCluskey got his first synthesizer from his mum's K's catalogue.
Oh God.
£2 a week for the next 52 weeks, and it was a Korg.
Wow.
I think it was a Korg DS20 or something like that. But that's the thing that put them on the map.
Yeah.
Because they had a synthesizer, and it was like, wow, those guys got a synthesizer. And then up sprung bands like Depeche Mode.
Oh yes.
Now, when those came out, I'm going to be hand on heart, I thought, that is absolute rubbish.
Oh no.
That is absolute rubbish. It's only when I listen back to that stuff and I go, do you know what? That is really good. And I listen to all their back catalogue and I realise how good that band is.
You just learn to appreciate more when you're older, don't you?
Oh, that band is.
You really listen, give things a listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You appreciate just that little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I covered "Enjoy the Silence," didn't I?
Yes.
And that was again, that was really difficult. I didn't realise how difficult that song was. But that's not a new wave song.
No, it ain't.
That's like 1989.
Just talking about synths.
Yeah, absolutely. And then other synth bands popped up, didn't they?
Yes.
Such as your Human League.
Human League, gosh, yeah.
But do you regard those as new wave?
They're ranked on the list. they're on the list of the new wave.
They're on the list. So what I think, in essence, is Andy Partridge is actually spot on.
Okay.
Where he said it's just pop music, and I'd be really inclined to agree with that. Because it was such a broad spectrum. So when we started doing this and we looked into it, and then we saw Spandau Ballet, A, B, C.
I know, how the heck?
Duran.
More like new romantic rather than new wave.
Well,
Well,
that's what they were. That's exactly what I thought.
I don't know how they ranked onto the list of new wave.
The early Duran was slightly different. So it had Steve. So it didn't have Simon Le Bon originally. It was Stephen Tintin Duffy.
Oh yes.
Originally, and there was somebody else. I know Andy Taylor was there, John Taylor and Roger Taylor.
Roger,
I don't know
yes.
if Nick Rhodes was there, but they're all from Birmingham,
Yes.
from my neck of the woods, funnily enough. And I remember my sister used to hang around outside John Taylor's house.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Girl, was she?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Stephen Tintin Duffy, I think when he left there, I think she was him who worked in a wallpaper shop.
Oh right.
Yeah. And my sister sort of met him like numerous times. And just, yeah, kind of like, yeah, but there you go.
Oh dear.
And then he had a hit later on, didn't he? I think called Kiss Me.
Just
something
read
like
your mouth.
In
83, 84. I think it was.
1984.
Was it
actually.
84?
Yeah, it was indeed.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I mean, yeah.
Other synths users like Thomas Dolby.
Science. Now,
Grinding nearly science.
Thomas Dolby. Wow.
Proper kooky, wasn't he?
Kooky, but it's like you listen to that, and he got. I don't know. He was just slightly different.
He could pump many sounds out of his keyboards, couldn't he?
Well,
different sounds, so many. I don't know.
Well, most people can when you've got a synthesizer.
You know what I mean. Like,
yeah, yeah.
So many different.
I do indeed.
Yes.
I do indeed. But you know, that wasn't all his synth. There'd be a backing band for that.
Oh, I see.
There really would be.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was studio done, so it'd be track on track on track.
Nick Kershaw as well. He wrote into the new wave on the new wave scene.
Really?
Yes.
Now that does surprise me.
And Howard Jones.
Because I thought they were later.
They were later.
They were way later.
Oh, yeah.
Howard Jones was. But Howard Jones was just strange anyway, because he had that.
Jed, the mime artist.
One in chains.
Yes. His name was Jed.
Okay, this
He was
is.
a street performer, wasn't he? He was a performer.
Yeah. I would say any time, give me the late 70s.
Oh yeah.
Give me the late
as well.
70s just for the sound, you know, bands like the Lambrests, Dexys, Midnight Runners,
gosh, yes.
when they first hit the street.
Yes.
You know, tracks like G, you know. But then they really diversified, did they not? Dexys, Midnight Runners.
Went on to sing Come On Eileen.
They did, but I remember Dexys, Midnight Runners busking in Birmingham before they became famous. After it was Birmingham band, they bust in Birmingham on the. I think it was on the ramp leading up to the market. It's the old
ball ring.
It was the ball ring. It was the rag market and the row market, and they used to be there busking.
Wow. Kevin Rowlands, gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Big group of them. Big group of them. Really, really good.
They used to wear them dungarees, did they?
Oh no. No, not at all. No,
No,
they were very. I thought they'd got the potential to be two-tone. Those guys, because they kind of got that vibe.
And the sang Gino, the brass,
It's
the
very
brassy sound.
Yeah, it's very, very.
And the beat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just really, really. It's a really, really good track.
I love that. I love that tune. I do. We love it, man.
Absolutely. And there were other bands similar, weren't there? Now, then, talking of oddities, people like Peter Gabriel.
Oh yes. He used to be in Genesis in the 70s.
He did, and then he left, and he did. Was it
He went solo.
Salisbury Hill?
Salisbury Hill, yes.
Which was kind of.
Like he's telling a story in a song, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit. I don't know what to make of that song. But then he did Games Without Frontiers, which was just absolutely. If you haven't heard that song, go and hear that song.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's a really, really good song with a completely different sound.
Yeah.
And it's very dark as well.
Yes.
And that's the kind of new wave I like, was the darker stuff.
Oh, if you listen to the words.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an absolute whack job, complete whack. But it just, you know, but then he did Sledgehammer.
Oh, later on in the 80s.
Which I thought was awful. I hated that song, but that video won awards.
Gosh, all that work put into the animation.
It did indeed.
Yes.
In fact, I think it was the same.
Claymation.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Claymation. And I think they used the same. Effects when they made the film Evil Dead.
Oh my gosh!
If I remember
really?
right, I think they did. It was. If you look at it, it's very stop motion claymation, which is like, how How bizarre.
Yeah, but that back to the song Games Without Frontiers. Well, you know, up to recently, I thought she was saying, she's so popular. I thought she was saying that all this time.
Oh,
from
man.
From 1980 until just the other day, but you weren't.
She's on Frontier.
That's it. It's only.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's on Frontier.
Frontier.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay, so
oh my gosh.
never mind. Okay, that's another video. What you think people say in songs?
Yeah.
There's quite a few of those. You
There
know?
isn't, mate.
Yeah. But we'll have to do a video on that because that.
Yeah,
quite
I think that would
amusing.
be fun. Yes.
Yeah. So Trevor Horn, there you go. There's a weird thing about Trevor Horn.
Oh, what's this?
He was in the band Yes
Oh, I didn't know.
as well. He joined.
No.
He joined Yes on vocals, I think, for about a year,
Oh,
there or thereabouts.
goodness me. Who'd have thought that?
I know, because it's just, but there you go, talented. Yeah, there you go. And then the Police, so going back to the Police, if you've watched our video, which was bust-ups and breakups or whatever it was,
Yes.
it tells you all about the Police on there, how they didn't really like each other. But I think it was their third or fourth LP, I think it was the fourth LP, 1983, Synchronicity.
Okay.
That LP went straight in at #1 in the UK, USA, Canada, and possibly somewhere else, and it sold 8 million units, which that made them the biggest band on the planet at that point in time. Can you believe that?
I know. Such success.
Such success, but 2 years later they split up because they couldn't stand the sight of each other. But they did reform for a few years later, just for a reunion, I think 2007.
All right.
I think, but yeah, kind of, yeah.
Bizarre, isn't it? How they didn't get on, especially Stuart Copeland on the drums and Sting.
There you go.
So they're having fisticuffs in the studio.
But like I say, they went to other things, didn't they? It's
Sting went solo.
Sting went solo, yeah. But I mean, like you say, Stuart Copeland when he did the Equaliser theme tune. And talking of oddities, Midge.
Oh yeah, from Ultravox.
Also, so that was another new wave band, wasn't it?
Yes.
From
Scotland.
there you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he actually helped write Top of the Pops theme with Phil Lynnett's Yellow Pearl.
All right. I remember that tune.
Who knew that?
Yes. And then also, Midge used to be in a band called Slick in the 70s.
Oh, they sang.
Forever and Ever.
Was that the one I thought was the Bay City Rollers?
Yes, I thought it was them as well. They do sound similar.
Well, they sound identical.
They do.
I just thought it was the Bay City Rollers. I just thought, ooh. And it wasn't, was it?
You look completely different, Midge. It's so, well, obviously young. You had blonde hair, long hair.
Did you wear those leathers or something like that? It looked a bit. Oh, that was a bit late. That was a bit later, wasn't it?
After the song Vienna in 81, because he sang that song Vienna, and then they went on to sing, to make more hits. They
did, and they split up, and then he ended up doing Band-Aid
alongside Bob Geldof from Boomtown Rats.
Yeah, which is a bit, it's a bit, okay, that's,
all in the name of charity.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
There you go. Fat lot of good that did. Thin lot of good that did. Sorry. My lasting memory of that was Ozzy Osbourne at Live Aid saying, "Should we sing Food, Glorious Food?" And everybody says, "I don't think you should be singing that, Ozzy." But he wanted to sing
Ozzy,
it.
no,
Ozzy. I thought that was quite amusing myself, but there you go. So, have we got anything else on New Wave that you could possibly think of, or post-punk? Because, to be quite frank, we could go on all day. We could go for hours and hours and hours about this, couldn't we?
Yes.
And we could just bore a glass eye to sleep with this subject.
There he goes with his glass eye.
Yeah. Or it's enough to make an onion cry, either or. So, Mrs Moonstomper.
Oh yes, Mr Moonstomper.
Have you got anything else on this subject?
Not that I can think of at this minute.
Cool. So, me neither. So, what have we got coming up next time?
Oi!
Oi.
Oi!
Oi, oi, oi. Right,
Oggy,
so,
oggy, oggy.
for all you skinheads out there, because we haven't forgotten you, because I love a bit of that. Right, let's have a bit of oi, oi, oi for next time. And I think you'll enjoy this, because in the last Skinhead one, which is an immensely popular video, I hasten to add, we featured mainly on the original skins up into the 80s, but we're going to look at modern skins now. We're going to look at oi music in depth, because this is a fascinating subject.
It is.
So get your DMs on, get your bomber jacket on.
You better.
Yeah, and we'll have a bit of that.
I'm ready to go.
Absolutely, you won't want to miss it.
Oh no.
Absolutely. So, anything else, Mrs Moonstomper?
They're great.
Wow. Hey, it's like living with Tony the Tiger, isn't it, really? You know? Breakfast time, is it already? Mrs Moonstomper. Feeling hungry?
Where's me breakfast?
Right, okay. So, on that note, guys, I think Mrs Moonstomper looks a bit hungry. So, I've been Mr Moonstomper, guys. Peace out.
I'm Mrs Moonstomper, as always. Keep on rocking in the free world. Ta-ta.
All around